Okay. All right. So welcome everyone to the Pre-Vet Club March meeting, and happy St. Patrick's Day as well. Right, today we're going to, if you guys didn't hear before, if you want to be part of the game night at the end, you can go ahead and download the game Among Us on your phone or whatever device you want to use. And then we're going to go into breakout rooms depending on how many people are left. And we'll play Among Us, and I'll kind of explain for those who haven't played before a little bit more about the game. Okay. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the different officer positions that are available for the Pre-Vet Club, and why you should run for an officer position for the next year, how to run, dates coming up, and then we're going to play the game. All right. So we're going to go through each position individually. Each officer is going to talk about their position. All right. Okay, Caitlin, you want to go?
Sorry, I was trying to mute myself. So, hi guys, my name's Caitlin and I am the public relations rep. And so basically what you do for this position is you're in charge of the social medias. You are making flyers and making posts about different events and meetings that are for the club. And you're basically just like advertising and marketing. So, I mean, things were different this year because we weren't able to, meet you guys in person and see students and everything. So it was a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, this position's a lot of fun. I mean, if you like social media and if you like, sorry, I lose my train of thought. Yeah, but if you like social media and if you like connecting with your audience and everything and making posts, this position's like for you, basically. Sorry, I know I'm not selling it, but but yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a really simple role. You still are really involved with everyone. I mean, you can still get to make decisions and put your input and everything. But I mean, a lot of it is just marketing. It's the whole social media aspect is basically your first impression to members who are looking to join the club or thinking about joining. So it's just a lot of like making the club look good. I mean, aside from like emailing the officers and everything, the social media is where people are going to go first. And so that's what I liked about the position was that I got to make flyers and posts and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing it. So yeah, if you like social media, if you like talking to people, yeah, it's for you.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Let's see who's next. All right, Shelby, you want to go ahead and talk about your position?
Yep. Okay. So things that I were kind of in charge of. There are some things that I didn't get to have any experience in because of COVID and everything, like the dog park maintenance. So we couldn't have anybody down there to go do that. But usually my main job is to like respond to emails that we get from the club or for the club. And then most of the, like 9 times out of 10, the emails that you guys get from us are from me. Like I'll type them up. Sometimes if I haven't had a chance to, the other officers will step in. Kind of like Caitlin said, we all just kind of help each other. If we need help, we all do a little bit of everything in a way, but this is like mainly what my job was to take care of. And then at each meeting, I take minutes and just write down all of the information on one document that we went over. And then, as I'm sure you guys have seen, I'll also send that out in an email as well. And then I'll also, there hasn't been much record keeping to keep because we haven't really been, we didn't do like the club fee this year. We didn't do like mandatory attendance to be considered a member of the club just because of COVID and everything. So there really wasn't much records to keep and membership management to do. But usually that would also be my job as well. I think that's about it.
All right, awesome. Sorry if you guys hear a vacuum in the background. It's my neighbors. I don't understand, but Sorry if you hear that. I'll try to keep myself muted when I can. All right. So next is Xander. Did you want to talk about treasurer?
Yep. First, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. My family does celebrate St. Patrick's Day a little bit, so I have been drinking with them a little bit, and I have no alcohol tolerance, so I apologize ahead of time. So yeah, so as you can imagine, the treasurer position, you're going to be handling the club's money. This is going to involve handling the club accounts, which includes our main account, the ASI account, where we keep most of the club's money. You're going to be handling the cash box, where we keep a fairly large amount of cash on hand just for cash flow. You're going to also be managing the club apps. So we have at the moment a Venmo and Cash App account that we run, and then occasionally we'll have the Square app that we use, although it's not up at the moment. Something like Shelby was saying that I didn't really get very much experience in this year just because of COVID is handling the ASI account. So this year, for the most part, we've been just running the club through the cash box just out of convenience, just because ASI, it's, for me, I live quite a bit away from Fresno, so it's hard to actually go into the ASI and fill out forms and send it to them. But usually when we're on campus, ASI wants you running everything through them. So if we have any club expenses or if anybody spends money on the club, you're going to end up filling out reimbursements forms, and that's a process that will usually take about 3 to 4 weeks to get money back to people. It's usually about 3 weeks to get the money from ASI, and then you're looking at about another week to actually have the reimbursement money mailed to you. You'll also be depositing any income we get through the club to the ASI through forms. Another thing you'll be doing as treasurer is you'll be applying for grants for any club activities we do. So like for visiting veterinary school campuses, there's grants for that you can apply for, and that's all through the ASI website as well. Another big thing you'll be doing as the treasurer is you're going to be managing most of the club apparel. So like our t-shirt orders and our club jacket orders. And I believe they've done like sashes in the past, if Daisy told me correctly, but we didn't do that this year. But you'll basically be pushing the ball forward on just getting the t-shirt and club jacket designs done. You'll be staying in communication with the apparel representatives, with the company that we work with, or even finding a new company if we decide not to go with the same one we've used for the last few years. Yeah, and just that'll probably be what you spend quite a good amount of time working on. And then as Shelby says before, you're kind of as an officer, you're expected to stay involved in just running the club in general, putting an equal amount of work in as all the other officers. So I think that about sums it up mostly.
All right. Thank you, Xander. Party it up. All right. Okay. Next is Maria. Did you want to talk about Vice President a little bit?
Yeah. Okay, guys. So a lot of what I do is just mainly like Shelby and Caitlin and Sanders said, we all kind of work together in the areas that we need. If any of them need help, I'm there. I step in to help them just like they do. So we all have a say, and kind of, everything in the club, we decide together what's best for the club. So a little bit of what I do is what I would do if COVID wasn't happening, would be a lot of the volunteer opportunities. I would kind of figure out, what volunteer ideas we can do. Like there's the Valley Animal Center. They have a bunch of stuff going on a lot of the times during the holidays. Like they have like the bully rescue walk as well. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities that we have done previously that we weren't able to do this year, but that's what I would do. I would go ahead and take care of any volunteer opportunities, get them out to you guys. If there was any clinics or any experiences out there, that's what I would take care of. So mainly it's like looking out, kind of keeping an eye on if there's any places doing any volunteer things. is kind of what that section of the position is. The other thing would be reserving the locations for club events. So for that, you would go through the reservation center. Typically it's if you guys get to do this in the future, it would be stuff like the dinner with doctors. The other big thing is the clinic that we hold every year. And then just the club meetings in general. If we're back on campus next year and whoever the vice president is, they would have to go ahead and pick a location for the monthly meetings, and you would have to report that to the reservation center so that those meetings can be held at the same spot every month. You would also attend meetings with the president to coordinate events. With that in hand would be attending the HCOP meetings with the president or with any of the other officers that are available. Sometimes some of us aren't available for those meetings, so somebody else steps in to go to those meetings. This year they didn't have, I believe they had 2 or 3. I'm assuming same thing because of the whole COVID thing. But basically what HCOP does is they pretty much get all the clubs from STEM and pre-health to get together and kind of get resources, coordinate resources to help the STEM clubs as well as any pre-health clubs. So that's kind of that part of it. And then overall, like I said before, it just kind of steps up for the president when necessary or for any of the other officers when necessary.
All right, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my position as president. And so the president's main job is to provide and look for opportunities for the club, different events, and getting those planned, of course. And the president's the one who kind of schedules the meetings and officer meetings and picks dates and makes sure it works with everybody and everybody can make it and what time they're going to be, all that good stuff. They also coordinate events, and we attend meetings like the HCOP ones to coordinate events. When we were planning the dinner with doctors last year, Hannah and I went to maybe 3 meetings before the school got shut down to plan dinner with doctors with the HCOP. And it's a pretty important thing to help get events started and get the ball rolling and everything, and to get help because they were going to help financial wise and everything. Also, got to make sure everything's prepared for each event and attend the HCOP meetings like Maria said. And then you want to also maintain communication with Dr. O'Bannon, who's our advisor, especially with the vaccine and microchip clinic. You want to get that started like months in advance because she's the one who provides the vaccines, of course, and everything. So you want to maintain communication with her. You also want to look for funding for the club, like fundraisers, like we did the cupcakes. There's also other fundraisers that you can do. We were just a little limited this year. You also want to collaborate with all the other officers and delegate, kind of figure out what each person needs to do to get an event going. Like, okay, who's making the flyer? Who's booking the place? Who's advertising? That kind of thing. And you have to be okay with being the main representative for the club, of course. And all right, now I'm going to kind of talk about why you should run for an officer position. Well, and I also share little pictures. The top left here, this was our vaccine and microchip clinic last year. And then this year we did get to do the donation drive with the Creek Fires. And thank you to those members who did help us with that. Thank you to those who donated. And it actually came together pretty good. And we got on the news and everything. So that one was pretty successful, I'd say. And over here, there's the vaccine clinic. And down here was one that we started last year. We did a tour at the FPD Canine unit, and we got to watch training demonstrations, and some of us got to try the bite arm, and those dogs are very strong, just so you know. So why you should run for an officer position, it's a good leadership experience. It really gets you thinking about, okay, how are we going to plan these events? How are we going to run it? And it's good experience if you ever have to be a leader in something. Like if you want to be a vet one day, you want to have your own business, you kind of have a little bit of experience in what running different things is like. It's also a fun way to get involved and meet new students as well. And then you can, hopefully next year it'll be on campus more. Maybe you guys can plan more events. And we also need people to run for each position every year in order to keep the club going. Otherwise, if we don't have people to run, the club ends for everybody. And I know people want to take part in it. So please run if you are interested. Even if you're just thinking about it, you can always reach out to us and be like, hey, what do you think? Okay, was it really difficult? Was it really time consuming? You guys can talk to us about whatever you need. I know at least I'm open, and I'm sure the other officers wouldn't mind answering a few questions as well. Okay, now if you want to run, this is how you're going to do it. We have this form right here. In this Google form, you will need to pick one position that you're interested in, but we also are going to allow like one alternative. So you can pick like 2 positions, like, okay, vice president and treasurer, or whatever positions you want to run for. If you want to do more than one to better your chances, you can go ahead and pick 2. You also are going to want to prepare a 1 to 2 minute speech. You can talk about your qualifications, why you're running, what you want to do for the club, what you want to do differently, what do you want to continue with, that kind of thing. And that will need to be typed because that's something you'll have to submit in this form. And then once we have all of those and we have the speeches, then we're going to put that on a different Google form so people can vote that way. That's why we need it typed as well. And then we need you guys to be able to attend the next meeting to be able to give your speech, and I'll record it just like I do all the meetings and then post it to our YouTube like I do all the meetings, so that people can watch at their convenience. All right, so that form is due April 9th. So I'm giving you guys a few weeks to figure out what position you want to run for, if you want to run, and it gives you guys time to think about it. Ask us questions if you need to. You can always email us if you need anything. And April 14th is going to be the April meeting, and it's going to be at 7:30. If you are not able to attend and you are running for a position, please let us know so we can figure something out. There's different options. We can either like read your speech for you. You can send us a recording and we can play that at the meeting. We can just have your little speech on the form and people can just read it and vote that way. It's just going to depend on what you want to do. And then April 23rd is when the votes are going to be due. I gave you guys a little bit over a week for that. Yes, if you're running, you can vote for yourself or not. It depends, but you can vote if you're running. And then May 5th will be our last meeting, and that's when we'll introduce the new officers. All right. Did anybody have any questions? You can also put them like in the chat, or you can just wait till after. You can unmute yourself, whatever you want to do. No? Okay. So now let's